And with that, I believe we are live. Welcome, welcome everybody to another very special Pepakura Tuesday. For those of you who have been with the channel a while, this will look a little different to you folks because we are actually not starting in Pepakura. We are starting in Blender tonight. Blender is a free open source. Actually, I don't know if it's open source. I do know that it's free though. It's free software. No, I do think it's open source because you can get plugins for it from all over the place. Hello, Orlando. Welcome to the stream. Blender's free software you can find online, just like Pepakura, and it's used for 3D modeling. It's really great software. It's also used for rendering in a cinematic sense. But tonight we're going to be using it to do just a little bit of tidying on some models that came our way via Discord. So we're going to be seeing how we can quickly, if you have no time, if you just want to get going on a build, how we can quickly just tidy up a model a little bit, maybe it'll make it a little easier on your computer, and, you know, also just tweak it in small ways that make it a little more fun for you. So let's go in here. So first things first, when you open Blender, you're going to have your stock cube, light, and camera. And I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of all of them because we don't need them. We're not working with them. I think you're okay. I really appreciate it though. I mean, we're gonna dig in a little bit. Obviously, this live stream will not be me unfolding 25 files. That's not what this stream is going to be. This stream is going to be talking a little bit how I assess the damage when I'm talking about trying to go through just a ton of files. So let's do this. Yeah, because not everything requires a remesh, retopologizing things. A lot of things you're just going to be tweaking a little bit and going. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go to File, Import. And fortunately for me, a lot of these are already .obj files, so these are the files that Pepakura has the best time reading, frankly. They're just the shell, the actual polygons. So we're going to open that up, and I've actually got 3 that I want to take a look at tonight, but I think the first one we're going to take a look at is this one right here. It's an engineer. It is a... here, we're going to zoom out a little bit so we can see it. There it is. This is a clone engineer. Some of you will recognize this from, I think, the second Oops All Troopers, where we actually did work through another clone engineer, but it was way lower quality and detail. So instead, let's take a look. First things first, I'm going to right-click on it, and we're going to set geometry to origin. That just means it's going to be all the way down here at the bottom, rotating around the origin point. And that is more or less just for ease of use so that we have a pretty strong understanding of where it is. Now I'm just going to check over on the side here, make sure, yep, it is perfectly centered on everything. It is rotated 90 degrees, but I like the direction it's sitting right now, so I'm just going to leave that as is, and it is nice and square. Now this model looks extra smooth right now, but that is because Blender is actually shading it smooth. So we're going to right click again, and instead of clicking shade smooth, which is what we're looking at right here, we're going to click shade flat. And now we can start to see all those polygons. That doesn't make this a bad model by any means. This is just a better, more clear look at the way these files work. Now, one thing that I'm noticing right off the bat here, a lot of these are first impressions. I kind of did a test run of this earlier, but I'm really analyzing it right now. One thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is that there are still some pieces here, despite this being a single file, there are still some pieces here that I would consider to be separate meshes, and, you know, if under different circumstances I had gone through and modeled this myself, I would have exported them slightly separately, or in a manner that allows me to separate them slightly. But you can see on the inside here, you can actually see where those pieces meet here, and I'm not sure if it's intersecting or if it's just weird in the way it's trying to render it, but it does kind of get wigged out on those little C pieces at the ears there. Now, I will say I am in love with this for not being too, like, overly complicated. Usually when you see something of this quality, you might expect it to have, let's say, 4 times the number of vertices. And that can get really, or faces, and that can get really messy really quick. As it stands, let's see. 1 second. As it stands, it's pretty simple. Let's see here. Oops. Oh my gosh. Sorry, it's been a heck of a day. It's a root beer in a Guinness glass kind of day, frankly. I will not claim to be a super adept at Blender. I will instead just let everybody know that this stuff is very much approachable if you take it piece by piece. Here we go. Okay, here we are. As it stands, we're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's see, it looks like 6,542 faces. And they're pretty clean and pretty marshaled, which is exactly what we want to see, especially if we're considering exporting this into Pep. Now, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of awkward intersections, nor a bunch of weird stuff where things aren't fitting together. I will say, I think the shape underneath the helmet here is a little wonk, in a way that I would probably edit before throwing into Pepakura, so we'll probably do that. And then I'm noticing as we go around here that a lot of these are triangulated quads, meaning that they're split across the diagonal into triangles for smoothness overall. But that's not super necessary for Pepakura, generally speaking, and it kind of slows down the process. So we're going to go from object mode here to edit mode. So you can see, oh, them faces. Pretty nice. Those blue lines are just denoting that when shading the model, those edges are sharp versus to be smoothed over. So that's nothing to worry about there. We actually really love that it's there. But instead, what we're going to do, we're going to go through here. Everything is selected right now, but I'll show you. All you got to do is click away and press A. Now I've selected everything again. I'm going to just go to some very quick cleanup here. Let's do face tries to quads. There we are. It's not the perfect cleanup. You can see we've turned a lot of those angled pieces into quads. Now, it does do some weird things over the top here. It really, for some reason, wants to start continuing those lines off on the diagonals. Now, we can fix that here, or we can just fix it in Pepakura, and if we're not looking to do a whole lot, we'll just fix it in Pepakura anyways. So, let's go down here. Let's unclick everything. Doop. Now, I am not in love with the fact that this little overhang exists here. I actually really like how smooth the opening is around here, and I'd probably just get rid of this triangle of faces here anyway. So let's go. We're going to hold the shift key, left click all these edges, all these points we don't really need. Here, in fact, this edge isn't super important either, so we'll just get the bottom of it going all the way around. See, it has like a vague sense of thickness there. And as we go across here, again, just getting rid of the parts we don't need. And as I go to delete them, we're going to actually just delete the vertices. And now you can see they're completely gone, as are any of the places they were adjoining. And we really do love that. Here we go. And now, just a subtle little bit of cleanup. Most of this is I would say, pretty straightforward. I really like the way the sides have cleaned up, the way this is all cleaned up here. There might be a little bit of funk in the rebreather here, just along this section on both sides, but it's symmetrical and I like it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to File, Export, back to OBJ. It's a native format here. And we're going to go to, where is it? Pep Tuesday, there we go. Let's say clone engineer cleaned. Yeah. We're going to export that OBJ. I'm not even going to save this. It's not super important to me right now, so, and it just takes up space. So instead, we're going to pop over to Pepakura here. And now let's open that file. And you'll note when we go to open files, we can open up Pepakura files, but we can also open up any OBJ file that we find in our system here. You can also open STL files, but it doesn't do it as cleanly. STL files are meant for 3D printing, so they have a lot of data in them pertaining to the actual width and dimension and fullness of the material. So it doesn't read it as well, and it tends to create a lot of weird faces where you don't need them. So, where possible, OBJ files. Here we go. Let's see, and it does a little bit of normalization in Pepakura just because it doesn't like things that are a little wonk. We're not going to flip that. We don't need to change the front because it's already facing front. Love it. No need to invert. That's all facing right out. We love it. And we'll adjust scale later. So now let's blow up the 3D here. One moment. Little bit of a cough. Here we go. And now here's what I'm going to do to clean up, well, not clean up, perhaps to redirect some of those small issues we were having earlier. I'm actually going to go through and just split the quad from the 3D menu so we get those lines back here. In fact, most of this, I'm guessing, is going to do it just straight away. Yeah, it really wants to clean up along those lines. I'm really kind of surprised that Blender thought what we wanted was that ulterior direction, frankly. I don't find that as directionally smooth. But what do I know? I'm just a human boy full of whimsy. Here we go. There we go. Just adding back in those lines. And you know, did it perfectly fix all our problems? No. Did it solve a lot of them? Heck yeah. And it simplified a lot more of the model than just that. So we're grateful. Here we go. Oh, and I missed one right there. And it's as simple as that. Just splitting those quads, and flipping those edges till we've got those straight lines. And oh, missed one there. There we go. And we'll do the same to this side real quick. Doesn't take very long at all, but it is a little bit of a tedious point to make. But this we could unfold it as is, but this is such a quick thing to do. You might as well just do it, frankly. Save yourself the time later. There we go. All right, let's do some quick swaps here. Swap those edges where they get a little bit wonky. That's all we gotta do. Look at that. Now something weird has happened up here. There we go. There's the swapped edge we needed. There we go. And now that's all straightened out pretty well. And this is fairly smooth on the whole, so we don't need to do a ton anyways. Yeah, I am noticing it along a little bit of that odd quad just along here, but I think we can fix that pretty easily as well. Let's see. You can see where they just become odd parallelograms that aren't quite in tune with everything else going on. There we go. Just like that. Yeah, I didn't even need to swap those edges. It did it right away. Oh, I'm glad this is so relaxing. I find it extremely satisfying. I think Pepakura is a very soothing thing to do. I'm here, the noob is in the house. Hey, no worries, no worries. This is educational time. We are just kind of working through adding back in a couple of faces that we sort of oversimplified in Blender, and that's okay because largely this is cleaned up extremely well. One thing I want to mention that I think gets overlooked sometimes is that, sorry, I'm just dying over here, is that if you get to a point in the 2D window where you're not looking at something that works for you, and you're looking at the 3D and you go, gosh, if only the 3D were doing this, I could be doing this. I encourage you to undo your unfold, go back, just tweak the model a little bit, and then go back to what you were doing. Because you're going to be way happier with it than trying to figure it out after the fact. It's just no fun. But with that, I do think this is nearly where we want it to be. Let's say, I kind of don't like how off-angled that is. That's a little better. Swap that edge, just like that. And what the hey, we'll do it one more time right here. Just like that. We love it. Now, do be careful with the swap edge tool, just because you can legitimately mess up your model a lot if you're not careful. Like, if I went through and I just started swapping all of these edges, suddenly I create these really deep grooves that are so unnecessary to the way that this model works. And you can actually see, as I'm doing this, weird unintentional grooves being created in there as you keep going through and rearranging the way the faces relate to each other. That can really mess it up. We're doing very subtle edits here, just for the sake of maintaining the flow of these lines. Where are the templates of this that we are seeing? There aren't templates for this one yet. So the templates for this one I am currently working on as we're talking. But I will say that I do have a version of this helmet from a past live stream that is nowhere near as detailed, which is part of the reason we're working on this now. We actually had a very generous guy, I think it was Grimdark, over on our Discord, went through and dropped a ton of raw files into, not unfolded, not templates, just raw OBJ files into the Discord. So this is part of what we're working through tonight, is making templates from that. So this and, some others and more down the line we're going to be working on. Hey dude, I started my first helmet. Do you have any tips? Yeah. Be bold. Make mistakes. Big mistakes. And if you're going to make a mistake, make it big, I'm curious, what are you making? I might have specific advice. Otherwise, I would say that, don't worry. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Make sure to sand down your edges. Even if you think your joins are perfect, sand them down just like a little bit. It'll help unify everything. There's no edge on, say, this guy that doesn't get sanded down like just a hair. Because it helps unify everything and make everything feel very much like one solid piece rather than a bunch of pieces. I am curious what you're building though. Let's see how far we can get in working out the 3D on this build. We're gonna open this up, go to 3D menu, edit mode, specify cut line edges, and then I'm actually gonna go back to the 3D mode, edge selecting, and I'm gonna click edges between 2 points. And we're gonna start separating this out. Oh, hey, yeah, thank you so much. I feel like I forgot to let you know that those were awesome, because I have, in fact, updated our Havoc templates, our full Havoc Trooper templates, with an ARM file. And Captain Fordo is out now to our patrons and is coming soon, because behind me here, on the bench, is our Captain Fordo bucket being just tidied up here. We're going to do a little bit of touch-up painting on this and some painting on our collab with Diabolical Props this Thursday, hopefully. So stay tuned for that. But these are our personal templates, which I'm very, very excited about. And I am just so over the moon with how that's come out. And we have a pep file that goes along with it as well as a little bit different. Thank you, Big Time Gaming Clan. I'm quite proud of it. All right. So you're trying to make a Phase 1 Clone Trooper. Well, as it so happens, I am also making a Phase 1 Clone Trooper. I've got the dome right here all worked out. Here, put that on and just enjoy ourselves. I would say that the Phase 1 Clone Trooper is super awesome. The one thing you want to avoid, if I were to like give you one thing to avoid with your Phase 1 Clone Trooper, I would avoid things that look concave for the most part. So the cheeks do go in, and that should be a little concave. But like, say all the parts of the rebreather, most of the dome, most of the back and the sides of the helmet, the faceplate, all dome ever so slightly outward. So don't try to avoid things that squish in on those parts, because you're going to wind up with you're gonna wind up with a helmet that looks oddly deflated, and that's just not something anybody wants. That's not something we're going for. So if I were to give one piece of advice on that, that would probably be it. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I didn't see the line forming there. I'm gonna go across to here, going up along here. Yeah, try not to overdo it, just getting a bit at a time so it doesn't create weird lines. Yeah. Let's see here. Very cool. I haven't used Pep yet, but heard a lot about it. It's so far built H.I.M. Mando. Him Mando? Like the Mandalorian, or like a... I'm confused what him Mando means. I'm so sorry. And a Baby Yoda print. Really neat. Yeah, those are super cool builds. Love working with foam. That paint job rock. Fordo for the win. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, I just find... So I've been accused of overusing Pepakura, and that might be true. But I think it's a really neat tool. Heavy Mando infantry. Oh. That makes sense. My bad. I've been accused of overusing Pepakura before, and that might be true, but I just think it's a really simple tool for achieving a lot of very complex things, frankly. And honestly, I think that, if the tool exists, might as well just go for it, right? Okay, so let's make sure... Oh, I think actually I've made... Yeah, I made an error there. I don't want to separate it there. I want to separate it right along that edge so that I can add this face that sort of flips up to that inner part so that you can layer the outer part onto it. And that will be how we get away with that. And now, of course, you can see all those lines running straight along the ways there. It's exactly what we need, because we're going to go around here. We're going to separate that piece out. Peace out. I'm not totally sure, but it does kind of look like there's a detail here. I'm not 100% on that. It's a weird shape to be there for it to not be a detail that I'm supposed to be doing. Thanks for the advice. Knowing my nature, I would probably screw that up. Also, can I like this video? Will you get rid of this stream? I hope you don't. I might. No, I don't get... All these get archived and they're right on my channel. You can go actually onto my channel, and if there's ever a live stream that you liked, or if there's something you want to go back to, they are all on my channel. I try to actually put all the Pep Tuesdays into one big old folder or a playlist, because I'm pretty proud of them. Actually, it's super funny. If you ever want to, go watch me and really embarrass myself, the very first couple Pep Tuesdays are also still on the channel. Even though they are wildly, shall we say, less than professional. And also, I didn't really know what I was doing in terms of streaming, so the pacing's all over the place. But I keep all these things so you guys can keep learning from them and, laugh at myself. What you gonna do? All right, man. All right. See, did I miss something? I feel like I missed something. Do you have... a TIE Pilot templates done? I don't have a TIE Pilot. I have one in progress, I think, from a while ago, but I want to say I did that thing. So I've already on this stream mentioned that if you're concerned about the way your templates are coming together in the 2D window because of something that you're looking at in the 3D window, I always encourage people to undo their unfolds and go back. Now, sometimes I'm working with a model that is demonstrably big, and that means that I'll have to go back and do a ton of work that maybe I'm just not like mentally ready for. And I want to say what happened was I was working on a TIE Fighter helmet, and then I got real close to being done, and I like noticed something that would make the whole thing easier, and I realized that there's no way I could do that, finish it, without knowing that I could have done it better, and so I set it aside for a while, and it's still been a while. Sorry I'm late. No worries, Shadow Fox Cosplay. You've just been missing me sort of coughing and drinking root beer. It's been a pretty lively stream so far. We have bopped from messing with this file here of a clone engineer in Blender to now just sort of starting to edge define things in Pepakura. And I must say, I think this is coming along very nicely. Now, I'm noticing there's a very subtle detail here that I think might be wasted on me. Oh, that's interesting. I think there's actually a small error in this model, because I'm seeing background there. I think there's like a single face missing here. I think this point right here may actually be connected straight to this right here with an ever so tiny, how close can I get? There we go. An ever so tiny gap there. Super weird. Can I paint on foam? Yeah, you can paint on foam. I paint on foam all the time. I mean, I don't paint straight on foam. Usually you can. Acrylic is great for painting straight on foam. Although you don't tend to get quite as smooth a surface if you haven't gone through and really smoothed out your edges. Any part that you sanded, of course. But, you know, I tend to seal my foam just a little bit and then paint it. But that's just me. Actually, let's see. What happens if I delete this edge here? I can tell, I know in my heart of hearts that has not fully fixed this problem. But I do think it has fixed it enough for my point of concern. Whoops. Come on. Let me grab it. Oh, there it is. Sorry, just deleted the edge. I'm guilty of deleting more edges in my models than perhaps I care to admit. Because, a message has been retracted. Sorry, I actually find it really funny because I know that some people think it's really bad to widge with their models a lot because they think that I think the logic is that if you mess with the shape, you're messing with its accuracy. We'll call it accuracy. But I think that especially because I'm modifying these files specifically for use for foam, you have to modify them just like subtly in shape, because you know you're going to get a lot of those details of the foam, not out of the model itself. I think we might actually call it a little early on working on this model, just because now that I've broken up a lot of the shapes of the top of the helmet, I think I might be sort of repeating myself by unfolding this model only. Because, you know, I've kind of done this model before, just at a slightly lower resolution. But I hope that some of you have gotten something out of going through from, you know, like getting that model, shunting it into Blender, tweaking it around a little bit, and, you know, messing with it. Let's save that. Awesome. And then let's go ahead. Or better of Plasti-Dip, or is it similar to Seal? No, absolutely not. Flex Seal does not work like Plasti-Dip. Plasti-Dip. Okay, so this is an important point that I just kind of want to stop everything real quick to make. Plasti-Dip, Flex Seal, and Plasti-Dip, this guy, are designed for totally different things. So Flex Seal is designed to make repairs, whereas Plasti-Dip is designed as an aesthetic coating. Now, they do sell Plasti-Dip that's like in a can, like a jar, where you can, like seal your tools with it. And that's meant to be, very, very durable. But this stuff was actually designed to go on automobiles so that you could repaint them. And when you got tired of the paint job, you could simply peel it up rather than having to sand and repaint as much. Whereas this guy is designed to go on fast, thick, and dry extremely quickly. And so this goes on very lumpy, and this goes on very smooth. And so they are not similar at all. They're on the exact opposite ends of the spectrum, and I cannot stress that enough. At Shadowfox constantly, what helmet did you make? Want to see a reference or more help for the one I'm working on? Oh, neat. People helping people. We love it. Let's open up another file. What was I working on the other day? I was working on... Oh, this is actually not the one... This is the one I was trying to go to. There we go. So I'll actually kind of sidebar into some folks over on the Discord were actually looking for some add-ons for a Clone Trooper bucket there. So I went ahead and I just quickly roughed up some add-ons for Bakara. And I really love Pepakura and Blender a lot because I'm very well versed in the smoothing tools that Pepakura has available to it, whereas I'm very rough and quick in Blender, which means that I can end up with pretty smooth products like this. I just wind up using both of them to really, really optimize that, and it's fun for me. I really like it, honestly. I am actually super happy with these templates because they're super simple and easy to add to a bucket. So I'm going to be dropping those over on the Discord because that's where they were requested, to be perfectly frank. But I'll probably throw them in our Trooper bucket files as well, just because these are some super fun add-ons to a Phase 2 bucket. Whether you're going for an animated one or a real one, a realistic, shall we say, one. There are no real Clone Troopers, regrettably. Let's see here. Where was I? I think I would like to... Let's pop back over to Blender real quick. Open Blender back up. Take it just a second. I think we'll go through it. We'll tweak and see what we can do with another model. We'll go to Import, OBJ. Here we go. Downloads. Oops, all troopers. Nope, wrong one. I've done this enough times. I have multiple folders. Here we go. This appears to be from Battlefront 2. It's a Bakara helmet. It's not just the add-ons. It's actually a pretty high-res full bucket here that I'm really into. Yeah, I like the Phase 1 helmet. Well, I'm with you guys. I really do. I have a lot of love in my heart for the Phase 2 helmets. But the Phase 1 troopers are really fun. And also... I have to object at least slightly to the idea that we're immediately introduced to the Phase 1 Clone Troopers, and they're really fun, and then they immediately redesign them for the very next movie pretty substantially, and that's a bummer, honestly. It's also part of the reason I really like the Gendy Trooper, because I think that Gendy Tartakovsky and the art style they pioneered really made the Phase 1 troopers look menacing in a way that, like, your soldiers should look. And that's what it is. Let's see. Phase 2. Ooh, nice. Yeah, Shadow Fox Cosplay's got Twitter over there. You should drop a link to your Twitter. Yeah, you've done some good work. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to set that to origin again. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. And we're going to shade flat just so we can see what we're working with. This is also a pretty clean model. I'm noticing a couple things right away, which the bucket itself seems to be sitting slightly wonky with the add-ons. And I really like the add-ons. I'm almost wondering, because a lot of this seems to line up with the Phase 2 helmet templates that I've I've got up on my Etsy. What I might end up doing is I might just go through, let's go to edit mode. I might just go through and remove a lot of the innards. So we get something kind of like that other file I just showed you, but for just the added Bakara pieces, where you got sort of this specialty dome, the ear pieces with the antenna, and then of course dem sideburns, because we can just go through. I can go through bit by bit here and just delete these. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry you're going through some sad boy stuff. I didn't realize. That's a bummer time. Life is hard. Cosplay is just a fun way for me to kind of deal with it. I don't know about you guys. Let's see. We'll just start grabbing some of these details we don't really... Oh, no. There we go. There's one thing I like about Blender over Pepakura is that it's way easier to get back what you were just holding on to, because it's actually designed for that. Here, we'll just delete that, delete those vertices, start to see what's going on here. Yeah, it does look like there's almost an entire phase 2 bucket inside of here, sans dome. So we'll probably just go through and we'll remove all that. I'll save this for now. We'll have ourselves a merry time another time, going through and taking care of that. Nothing but untitled files in my folders. Here we go. I completely understand. Let's round out the night. Let's round out the night with working on a Death Trooper helmet that I've cleaned up quite a bit and done a bit of remodeling on to get it where it's at. I'm really happy with this. I've put a lot of heart and soul into this model. It looks pretty accurate in a way that I'm quite happy with, even as the shape gets a little wonk near the dome here. Let's go through. I'm going to... This calls for a change of colors. Let's go... I'm thinking green. I'm thinking like a deep green, fading to like a super bright green. Yeah. Here we go. Let's start really breaking this model up. Edit mode, specify cut line edges, edge selecting edges between 2 points. Here we go. Whoa. Liners they got teach, and in the arms of Kingston Bay got a ship called the Devil's Reach. Ship 47 cannons, on deck she had 7 guns, 16 guns, and at the helm was Big Top Cutter. He's a noble bastard son. But the locals all knew better to keep away. Them say, well, you should have turned back sooner, 'cause the Reach it owns the Spay, and you can't outrun her and you can't outgut her, and you know you're gonna pay. Actually don't like the way that I divided this up. So let's divide this edge here. And that'll be a lot cleaner. I know it creates some weird edges over here, but I'm kind of okay with that. Let's go back. There we go. Run it around this edge here. Nope. Try that again. Better. I should join a band. I have never joined a band. I've been in several choirs. I just don't know what it would be like being a band. Being in a band. I just have no idea. I have no frame of reference on that. Let's see. Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be night without you. Light of my life, my darling, I love you. I love you. I can forget you never. From you I ne'er can sever. Say you'll be mine forever. I love you. If you wanted to do the fiberglass resin with some of these models, how would you go about cleaning the model and setting the foam lines? So, it is a great question. So what they're talking about here, for those of you who don't know, is that Pepakura is actually designed to be for paper. You know, we're hacking it sort of inside out here to make some really nice foam templates, and I love doing that. I've had some really fun conversations with some of the people over at Tomsoft, actually. They're super nice, and they talk a lot about how it's super interesting that, you know, it's kind of taken on its own life in the cosplay community more so than the people who just really like using paper to make replicas and, you know, find that very soothing. So I don't do a ton of resin and paper. I have worked with my little brother on some before. He actually has, he did his own Phase 2 Clone Trooper bucket out of paper and resin. But it's just a very different way of going about stuff. I think the hardest part of, or perhaps maybe the biggest difference between this, the way I'm doing it and the way you would do it for paper, is that there's just a lot more division. Anywhere that you would see, you know, a little bit of separation in a foam template, you would actually have like its own sort of bit, and it sort of folds together. Yeah, no, pretty much. And it's hard because there's a lot of just differences in the way that the build process works. I have talked with Diaxis, Goff, and some other people about the way they do their templates for like cardboard, especially. I would say that cardboard is probably like the midpoint between using foam and using paper, because it has a little bit of thickness, but you can sort of curve it around if with a little bit of water, whereas paper just doesn't have the weight to do that. And I from what I understand, it would be, instead of just being I'll separate it like across here and over the top, it would be more like, I'll separate it like this, going all the way across each and every one of these to create nice swooping lines, and I might join them at one point as a reference to myself and then glue it all together. But yeah, no, you need pretty much all the folds and bends for a paper model, and that's just kind of the way it is. I think I've made a slight miscalculation in the way I remeshed this. Well, in the way I did my second mesh, because my first one was all garbage. I think what I actually want to do, and I can sort of trick this here. Let's split these two quads and swap that edge. And then I'm just not in love with that. Let's give it a chance. Let's see if I can smooth it a little bit. We'll smooth across from here, here, and there. Oh, okay, that's better than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, because I don't wanna go back into Blender on this one anymore. I'm really kind of, trucking on this now. Oh, I bid farewell. I used the top template of my rangefinder eyepiece and traced it out in 10 and 5mm foam. I just put it together and sculpted it, and while I do think it could look better, it actually works. Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair. Sculpting out smaller pieces out of just blocks of foam is really fun. Trying to think. So, for instance, this piece on the top is actually two pieces of 8mm just sandwiched together, rather than a side piece, a back piece, a top piece. It's just a solid piece. And actually, it's really nice because it means that when I go to grab the top of this, it's very strong and very easy. Same with this. This is just layered foam on the back right here. Of course, it's not completely painted, but just layered foam here, so that is also quite strong, versus the back here, which is actually two pieces like that, so that's hollow on the inside. You can stick your head in there. And Pepakura is pretty good at rendering that too. I mean, honestly, when I make the pattern for this rangefinder, I will just essentially lay it out flat, because it is largely just flat. It doesn't have a significant bend to it. 8 viewers. There we go. Let's see. Oh, I bid farewell to the port and the land. I paddled away from brave England's white sands to search for my long ago forgotten friends, to search for the place I hear all sailors end. As the souls of the dead fill the space of my mind, I'll search without sleep until peace I can find. I fear not the weather, I fear not the sea. I remember the fallen, do they think of me? With their bones in the ocean forever will be. Plot a course through the night to a place I once knew, to the place where my hope died along with my crew. I swallow my grief and face life's final test, to find solace of grief and a promise of rest. As the souls of the dead fill the space of my ears, their laughter like children, their beckoning cheers. My heart longs to join them, sing songs of the sea. I remember the fallen, do they think of me? With their bones in the ocean forever will be. When at last before my ghostly shipmates I stand, I shed a small tear for my home upon land. Though their eyes speak of deaths filled with struggle and strife, their smiles below say I don't owe them my life. As the souls of the dead fill the space of my ears, their laughter like children, their beckoning cheers. My heart longs to join them to the songs of the sea. I remember the living, do they think of me? With their bones in the ocean forever will be. Now that I'm staring down at the darkest abyss, I'm not sure what I want, but I don't think it's this. As my comrades call to stand fast and forge on, I make sail for the dawn till the darkness has gone. As the souls of the dead live forever in my mind, as I live all the years that they left me behind, my heart longs to join them. No, wait, I'll stay on the shore, but still gaze at the sea. I remember the fallen, and they think of me, for our souls in the ocean together will be. See, how do you know all these songs? Man, it's a hobby of mine to actually just try to memorize new songs. I like shanties. I like drinking songs. I like, like kitschy campfire songs. It's a lot of fun for me. Looks amazing so far. Thanks, Jaden. High praise. I appreciate that from one Jaden to another. I really appreciate that. I'm really liking these templates. I think I'm going to pour a little extra work into these. I might These might find their way onto my Etsy store. I'm not sure. I'm not sold. I just need to figure out what I'm doing with them exactly. How happy I am with them ultimately. For those of you who don't know, I do have an Etsy store. I sell a few patterns on there. I sell them very cheaply because ultimately I really do just want to make sure that these find their way into the hands of folks who can make them and enjoy them. But you know, it helps out the channel, helps support things. I won't lie, it's going to be a weird couple of weeks coming up here because I will be doing a couple different things. I am finishing up a commission that's not super hush-hush. It's just not super in line with some of the other content we're making. But I will be helping my father run a fireworks stand. So I'm gonna be a little bit busier. We'll see what happens, because I'm either going to be way more active on Discord, or I'm just not gonna be active at all. I think it depends on like how my time ends up working out and how busy the stand winds up being. Let's see here. Edges between 2 points. There we go. Right across to here. Great. Splitting up the visor. Actually, the visor is supposed to be one piece, so we'll... Whoops. Single edges. Here we go. Put that back together, because that is supposed to be one piece. Here we go. Now we'll go back here. Go back. Edges between 2 points. Add that back in. We're all together again, we're here, we're all together again, we're here. Who knows when we'll be all together again, singing we're all together again, we're here. Let's see. There we go. Love that. I actually don't want to have this line here. I'm going to get rid of that. Does that? Nope, that screws that up. Got to do that manually. My bad. I don't want that because I actually want those together. And here we're going to break into the part that I knew I was going to dread a lot and probably wind up doing most of it in the 2D window because I'm lazy. But we'll sort of break up the face plate here. I'll be doing a lot of that in the 2D window, though. LOL. Let's see here. 9 viewers. Can you show us live the new dome design? Yeah, this is the dome. It was the dome I had on my head. So the new dome design has a slight change to it. And actually, I've sort of incorporated it here. It's a little bit different. But essentially, it goes up, and it still follows that sort of ridge. But then along the back, it dips back down and swoops in. And I don't know, it's just actually cupped the back a lot better than a lot of other dome patterns that I've worked with. And I don't know, I like it better. Plus, I don't know, I think sometimes when your dome separations, the seams on your dome are just in a slightly different position, it can be easier to trick your audience, as it were, into, you know, accepting where those edges are, because they're not like looking for, shall we say, your traditional dome patterns. Like I know Evil Ted has a really nice dome pattern that it's reminiscent, you know, like a beach ball. It's the wedges come together, 4 wedges over the top, and then you end up with 3 seams. And I there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it is the case where, you know, you start to see those dome shapes everywhere. And so you go, it's this way they're making that dome. Whereas I think when you switch it up a little bit, you wind up with something that maybe you wind up getting away with things a little bit more. There we go. Let's see. Jump across to here. Couldn't get here on time. You're good, Melina. No worry. We're going to be doing this for a little bit longer still, I think. We're working our way around. I should actually just make sure. I'm going to text somebody real quick. 1 second. let's see. From there to there. From here to here. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting it. We're cooking with gas. Phase 2 was introduced 1 year into the war. Here's the thing. That's true. Like, that's objectively true. But I am sad from a storytelling perspective that, you know, you get a movie, you get this really cool design, and then immediately it becomes the new thing. And I that's just a bummer, I think, because it's really cool when you introduce a new design. Kind of like how I think superhero movies are really guilty of this a lot, where they do this thing where they'll introduce a new costume like right at the end of the movie, and then you get to the next movie and it's already a new costume, and it's like, what was the point? What was the point of that? Like, it looked so cool. Why did we do it this way? Oh. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's go across to there. Yeah. So that's actually, that's right, I separated it underneath there. So that's not going to go up and across like that. That's okay. Oh, I'm really liking it so far. I think this is actually quite tidy. Ooh, actually, instead of doing it like that, let's go to single edge. We'll double click. Yeah, and it'll ring those edges. Which is exactly what we want. I wanna be in the cavalry to send me off to war. I want a good steed under me like my forefathers before. I want a good mount when the bugle sounds and hear the cannons roar. I wanna be in the cavalry that must go off to war. I want a horse and a volunteer force that's riding forth at dawn. Please save for me some gallantry that'll echo when I'm gone. And I beg of you, Sarge, let me lead the charge when the battle lines are drawn. Let me at least leave a good hoofbeat they'll remember loud and long. I'd not a good foot soldier make, I'd be sour and slow at march. I'd be sick at a navy ship and the sea would leave me parched. But I'll be first in line if you let me ride, by God you'll see my starch. Look back for the heath of the laurel wreath underneath that victory arch. I wanna be in the cavalry. Have a good night. Good night, Big Time Gaming Clan. Send me off to war. I want a good steed under me like my forefathers before. I want a good mount when the bugle sounds and I hear the cannons roar. I wanna be in the cavalry if I must go off to war. Can't remember if that's in or out right there. Hang on. Shade that. That'll help me see things a little bit better. Yeah, I want to go like that. There we go. Whew. Got worried for a second there. Wasn't sure where I'd put my lines. Any plans on attending any cons this year? To be perfectly frank, I have not put a ton of effort and energy into trying to find cons right now. Mostly just because I'm trying to plan a wedding. And that has eaten a lot of my time. But I mean, I'd like to. Probably not going super far for it, frankly. But I mean, I think cons are fun, right? It's got a fun energy. Plus, it's a good excuse to finish up a piece, I think. I don't know. I've been eyeing my Republic Commando templates again because, you know, I put a lot of heart into that, and I really like Republic Commando, and they're fun builds. So I don't know. I might see me attacking that again, just because, you know, it'd be fun to attend in a cash play. I like to cash play. I don't know. More than that, I've been working out in the gym again because I want to look better than I do. But more than that, it's like I would love to cosplay and, you know, look nice for my wedding and to just do stuff and not think about the way I look. So I have been hitting the gym, getting the cardio in, doing some lifting. I don't know. I actually gotta slim down more than anything. Gotta mess with my shoulders. Did I make this model? Yeah. Yeah, this is me. And that's why you're gonna see a bunch of stupid things like this guy right up here, which is very funny to me, frankly. Let's see. I'm just trying to think, because when I'm going through any modeling, I don't have the tendency to go through and think too hard about the way I'm doing this for Pepakura, and maybe that's a mistake, but I like trying to create shapes that are pretty basic and clear, more so than I think that leads to good Pep more than trying to model straight for Pep all the time. Did you know that the Phase 3 Clone Trooper Force Unleashed has very noticeable close to the... Yeah, no, I like that version of the Phase 3. There's a dude on Reddit who did a Phase 3 Trooper edit, and I really like his as well. It's just... The Phase 3 Clone Trooper has actually been something I've been really jazzed about conceptually for a long time, just because I think it's neat. I just think it's neat. Oh... This is a really good start. I think we might start. I think we might end here. This has been really fun. We're going to see if we can't maybe get some more work on the Death Trooper and the Clone Engineer by the end of the week, because that would be exceedingly fun. For now, I just want to thank you all for coming out. I want to give a big shout out to our patrons. We got Sam the Man, Suit Up Props, Benjamin Stanley, Laura, Ruben, Matt G, Penn Dulce, K-Snake, and of course Austin of AJ Plays Piano. Absolutely adore you guys, and we adore all of you for coming out. This has been a really fun stream. It's got get a little glimpse behind, some of the backdoor stuff, and some really fun models coming our way. So hopefully we'll be getting some more stuff out very soon here. For now, as always, please take care, enjoy yourselves, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye, everybody.